Good afternoon, Imperial Valley. Those that are in Brawley, El Centro, no negative comments. Like I've told you guys before, they will be posted, not posted, and I will block you 100%. I'm gonna share this since people have probably seen this already, but I'm gonna share it again.
Hello, everyone. I'm here where I grew up in. I grew up in this area. My home is right over here on North Adams, right next to Pure Grow. This is where I grew up. My parents got this home when I was in junior high, and so this area is where I grew up. I have a lot of family, a lot of friends that live in this area, and I don't know if you're aware, but the Imperial County registrars made a mistake on all of these ballots, all the way from through River, all the way up to Eastern, way behind B Street. So it's a great section. It's over 600 ballots that are incorrect. My race was omitted. I'm going to start going home to home, letting the voters know that they will be receiving a second ballot. I really hope that this is not going to discourage people from voting if they have already voted once. All the ballots are going to be disposed of. So not only am I affected because of my race, but all those other people who are on the ballot for Brawley, they are affected as well because they were also on that ballot. So I call on all of those candidates to come and help me let your people know that they are going to be receiving a second ballot in the next coming days. It is not fraud. They will have to send in the second ballot if they already sent in the first. And so we want to make sure that everyone knows of what's happening. This error should not discourage, once again, people from voting. We need to make sure that our voice is heard and that we cast our votes. So I encourage you to make sure if you live in this area or you have family members who live in this area, to make sure you let them know of what happened. And I hope I have your support. Isabel Solis for IBC Board Area 4.
There it goes. What do you guys say, Isabel?
Well, I just want everybody to know the press release was out, and I was a little disappointed by what the press release said. It said it was a mishap. In Spanish, they use the word percance, which I don't know how many people know what that word means. I wish that the press release would say error, because that's what it was. It was an error. Unfortunately, this can cause voter insecurities. How many new voters do we have out there? How many people are having difficulty because of the COVID situation, already having insecurities for that area? We have a lot of older voters there who are already, hearing all kinds of things in the media. And so we want to make sure that this does not discourage 623 ballots. That is quite a bit. That's why I called on the candidates that are also on this ballot, because it affects all of us. It affects all of us. When a portion of our community is excluded, that is not acceptable. In school, I always strive for inclusion. We need to include everyone. So excluding a portion is not acceptable.
And you heard it in Imperial Valley. This is not I'll say there's a lot of error going on around the country, not just in Imperial Valley. I saw it from Texas to Sacramento. Now Imperial Valley's hitting in LA, by the way. LA got hit as well on something stuff like this going on. So it's just not in now. It's hitting home now, and I'm glad it Solis brought it up to my attention while I saw on Facebook, and that's why I brought her on the air. Neutral on all these campaigns, like I told you guys, and I'm glad she's talking about it. What else you want to let the people in Brawley know what's going on these campaigns? How's it going? And just let them know who you are and what's going on in Brawley.
I just want to let the people know that all these candidates that are running, we put a lot of time, we put a lot of effort. Like, for example, I worked on my strategy from the beginning. We want to make sure we have our message out. But when we see something like this happen, this kind of discourages us. But at the same time, it also encourages us to, and it reminds us that as leaders, we need to be there and voice for the people that many times are voiceless. We need to make sure that everyone has a voice, and now it's through their vote. I want to make sure that, my people, and I say my people because I grew up in that area. Many of my family still lives there. Many of my friends still live there. My friends' parents still live there, their grandparents. And it's an area that deserves to be heard. Their vote deserves to be heard. And so their ballot is no good. The ballot that they received is invalid. Even if they chose to do that ballot and they already turned it in, they were being organized and they made a plan, and No, because it takes time. If people went and got a ride to go and place their vote, they plan that out. And so now we're telling people, okay, wait a minute, no, that ballot does not count. Here's the second ballot. And so I want to make sure that it is loud and heard that these individuals need to redo their ballots. They need to recast their vote, and so that they can make sure that their voice is heard. And like I said, and I want the other candidates to help me because this is affecting our entire community. When one person is excluded, then there is a problem. And so we need to find a solution. I've gone and I made 1,000 copies today. I printed them in English and Spanish. I'm going to start tomorrow. I was going to start today, but then I thought, wait a minute, I need to have something official that explains to these voters that yes, there is an error. And so I was going to start today, but then once again, you have to make a plan. You need to always have to plan and strategize. And so we went and we made copies. We're going to go ahead and start tomorrow, and we're going to start delivering these household to household. Some people are very weary about the COVID situation. They might not open their door, which is fine. I am not there to be intrusive. I am there to send a message. And any candidate who would like to help me, I welcome their help. To contact me through Facebook or my email, and you can help me notify these people so that we can all be included.
Yeah, I saw that you were raised in where my cousins live at. They actually live in back of I think your mom's house, the Virgin family. When I saw the video, I was like, hey, the Virgins, my primos live in back of there where you were raised at. Mm-hmm. So I kind of haven't know the east side of Brawley. I call it the east side of Brawley because that's where it kind of is at. You cross the tracks and there's a farm, and I was like, hey, my primos need to see about this because they're neighbors. Yeah, they're in that voting precinct area in Brawley. All my Lita family, all my Hernandez family, all the Romero family, you guys are listening out. Share this. Those in Brawley, because I have a lot of followers in Brawley as well. So all you Brawley followers, share this as well, this information, because this is critical in your area and that region, Brawley. So I just want to thank Solis for giving me her time. I know she's busy. Everybody has a busy schedule this campaign, but I had to get this word out because I saw what you posted, and I'm glad you're doing that. You're gonna strategize now, which makes you strategize now for this election, and I see it critical, and I'm glad you have the time to talk to me because I want everybody to know that this is information that I got the press release as well. Mm-hmm. Us media guys, we got the press release, and I was like, huh? I even showed it to another campaign manager locally in El Centro, and she's like, no, this also happened in El Centro school district, for also a central school district here in El Centro, Michael Minix, but they didn't do a press release. The county did not do a press release. So that kind of, so people, if you guys are listening, this also happened in El Centro for Michael Minix district. See, and now it's happening in your district. Go ahead.
That's why it's so important to always have a strategy and a plan. Like I said, during the weekend, I started getting phone calls. I started getting messages from people I knew in the area. And of course, I'm not going to start, an uproar right away. I have to get information. I had to contact the voter registrar office on Monday, which was today. And, I wrote up an email. I sent out the information I knew. And I said, I need a press release.
They're asking me to do if you could do in Spanish, en español. Ya me están pidiendo en español.
Claro que sí. Hoy, este día, nos dimos cuenta de que una grande porción de Brawley se fue excluido, las balotas no sirven, las bolotas de votación. Lo que sucede es que se excluyó mi carrera, que viene siendo IBC Board Área 4. La área viene siendo área de César Chávez a la calle B, atrás de la calle B, River y Eastern. Toda esa área son 623 votantes. Las balotas no sirven, van a entregar unas nuevas balotas para esas personas, para que van a tener que distribuir las primeras y después entonces solamente entregar las segundas. Yo voy a ir casa a casa dejando información sobre este press release para que la gente sepa que esto no es fraude, es algo actual. Se ocasionó un error y entonces tenemos que rectificarlo. Y desafortunadamente tiene que ser con una nueva votación para que la gente sepa y esté informada y no dejen pasar esto. Si ya hicieron un plan y ya entregaron su votación, va a ser necesario hacer un plan adicional.
Yo quiero decir todos de que están en Brawley, mi familia, Romeros, Liras y Hernández, de que están hoy en español, que hacen share este a la raza en español en Brawley y esas áreas, porque es crítico estas elecciones. Este año es muy crítico de presidencial hasta local, es crítico las
Sí,
elecciones y por la COVID, you know.
queremos asegurarnos de que todos están sabiendo de que no nomás es mi carrera, o sea, aunque esa fue la carrera que se omitió, toda la votación, toda la boleta es excluida. Así que tienen que votar de nuevo en esa votación. No va a contar, por ejemplo, si votaron para las otras campañas, para presidente, no, eso no va a contar. Así que es muy importante de que hagan la correcta y la entreguen esa porque su votación anterior, esa no va a contar.
Thank you, Alicia, thank you. Yeah. Y mucho lo que está pasando, la cultural, no saben de que estamos diciendo en español, pero todos de que están traduciendo, pueden traducir en español porque muchos, la raza no entiende las lecciones en inglés en español. A veces está puro en inglés, a veces no está en español.
Sí.
Las elecciones, es lo que aprendí también.
Sí, como maestra bilingüe yo entiendo esa situación. Es muy importante de que la información se llegue a las familias en inglés y en español, porque esos son los dos idiomas que provienen en nuestra comunidad. Así que es muy importante informar. Si ustedes tienen amigos, tienen familiares en esa área, por favor, díganles. Como les digo, yo voy a intentar y voy a hacer lo más posible. Sí lo voy a hacer. Mi hermano no sabe, pero él me va a ayudar también. Mi hermano, mi mamá, todos los que yo conozco van a ser mis voluntarios y vamos a ir allí a casa dejando esta información para que ellos sepan de que es necesario entregar esa nueva votación para que su voto cuente.
¿Quieres decir algo más? Anything in English, Isabel?
I just want to say that I'm going to recruit anybody who would like to recruit. I call on my former students. I have 27 years of teaching. So I know I have some students out there who are now voting, especially those who are going to be voting for the first time. I call on you to come and help me. And I request your help. I know my brother's going to help me. He doesn't know, but he's going to help me. My mom, everybody who I know, I'm going to ask those candidates out there. I ask for your help. This affects us all. We need to make sure the word is out and we make sure that our community is aware of this error.
And my virgin family, you should know who she is. Come on, virgins. You guys are back neighbors from that house. When I saw this, I'm like, this is the Virgen Familia. You're back there. So you know who I'm talking to. You guys are always on Facebook. My family is constantly on Facebook in Brawley. So if you guys are all constantly, you guys could share this in Brawley Facebook because this needs to be heard. I'm sorry, even in El Centro. I mean, it's just going on through the country. LA, they said that they were sanitizing the ballots and they couldn't pass them through the early ballots, so they had to resend those out to the people in LA. So this ain't just going on in Pearl Valley. That's also in LA and other parts of the country. I couldn't believe when I heard that today. Yeah. So yeah, this is critical. This is a critical election.
Yeah, we need to make this wrong right.
Yeah, and then you could get your students involved in your campaigns. I mean, come on. I mean, it doesn't take that so long. I saw volunteers today. I saw 3 young girls campaigning for a local campaign, which I'm not going to share right now. But it's going to be on my YouTube channel, Culture Leadership Today. It's this interview is also on Culture Leadership Today. So those that are on my YouTube channel, share this. Those on my media page, share this. This is happening, guys. I had to do this breaking news because she had a time to throw this in the press release. I saw it 3 hours ago, and I'm like, really? I got to reach out to her. And I know there's more candidates. I'll be reaching out in that area. Hopefully, they are not affected. I think Gonzalez, I don't know. I got to check. He's in Brawley, too. School district. So hopefully they're not affected as well.
We're all affected. Remember, your ballot has all of the different positions. And so, for example, my mom, in her ballot, she has all the school board, the city council. Okay. And so she needs to now throw away that ballot and she has to get a new ballot. And so I'm just hoping that the community is not going to be like, pues ya lo hice yo eso, ya lo entregué. Well, no, here is the call to all of you that you need to do it again. We need to do it again. If you are in that infected area, that ballot is invalid. And so you need to now use the new ballot that is coming in the press release. It says 5 to 10 days, I believe, after receiving it in the mail. And so they will get that new ballot.
Thank you, Alicia. Yes, we're going to do this in Spanish, Alicia. Thank you. My colleague is.
Want me to do it?
Yeah, I want to share that press release as we talk about. I want to share this press release off your Facebook page. there's a press release, you guys.
Sí.
Um,
Está en inglés y español y es muy importante saber que todas las carreras son afectadas por esto, porque su balota de votación tenía todas las carreras, así que la entera la votación está inválida, así que tienen que votar de nuevo. Si llega esa votación a la oficina en el centro, la van a tirar a la basura porque está inválida.
Y la press release dice en Spanish and English.
Yes. I
Yeah.
put the Spanish one there as well.
Yeah.
Muy importante mirar que la palabra que utilizaron es mishap en inglés y en español es percance, que muy poca gente utiliza esa palabra. Por eso preferiría yo que usaran la palabra error, porque eso es lo que fue. Fue un error en la imprimida de esas balotas, de esa votación.
Yeah, I mean, it's critical. You got anything to say, Isabel?
I'd just like to make sure that everybody is not discouraged by this. We need to make sure that our vote is heard and you need to make sure that you cast your vote. Espero que esto no va a impedir a que usted haga su votación. Es muy importante de que nosotros, nuestra voz se escuche y es muy importante de que votemos. Claro, me gustaría tener su apoyo. I would love to have your support, but most importantly, I want you to have your voice heard and I want you to cast your vote. Es más importante para mí de que usted vote, por favor.
That's all I gotta say. You have more time. We got 15 minutes in, so you have more time to.
Okay. I don't know what would you like for me to share.
Well, mine would be you're a teacher. I didn't know that you were a teacher. So you're teaching bilingual teacher. You told me earlier.
A bilingual teacher. I'm a bilingual teacher. I've been a teacher for 27 years. I began in Calipat. I actually have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And when I was actually waiting, I had a position with the California Youth Authority as a counselor, but I decided to do some subbing because my job was going to start in December after I graduated. So I took the CBEST and I began to sub. I was very luckily hired as a teacher on my interview for a substitute teacher. Mr. Jim Hanks gave me my first job at Calipatria, Fremont. I loved that job, and so I decided to make a career change. I became a bilingual teacher, though, because I thought, I speak the language, and I felt that it was good to save our culture and our language. It's very important for our children to be bilingual if it is possible. So I became a bilingual teacher, multiple subject. From Calipat, I moved on to high school because I thought maybe, I want to give it a try with older students. I taught continuation, which was the best. At continuation, I was an AVID coordinator, which we focus on students' future. Of course, at the continuation level, we're not focusing like in the high school where we're having them focus on going straight to a university. They have to take an alternate path, which we know alternate paths are available for all of us. Sometimes we don't talk about them because we prefer our students to go straight from high school to college and university. But, for some people, they have a different path. And so it was great for me to be an AVID coordinator because I was able to expose those students to different areas, whether it be the military, whether it be a trade school, whether it be a junior college. There's different paths to go by. I have now students who have become teachers. I have students who have become law enforcement, a variety of areas. And so that is great. When my daughter was going to begin elementary school, I thought to myself, how am I going to help her? I'm here at the continuation at the high school level. And also we were getting the beginning. I was also a resource teacher. And so the exit exam was coming in. As a resource teacher, I focused on English learners. We had a special grant at Central Union High School. And so I recruited a group of English learners who were at the highest levels to take this exit exam. I was a little weary because, without the exit exam, they couldn't receive their diploma. I was very discouraged when I saw the results. It was awful for me to see that they were not able to pass these tests. They were scoring very low. And so that was very discouraging to me to know that a very high number of our population was unable possibly to pass this exam when it would be implemented. This was just a pilot. And so what I did is I made a decision. I looked at the skills that were required for this exam, and it was writing an essay, it was long division, It was double-digit multiplication. It was fractions. And so I made the decision to look in my standards and find where those were taught. And so I said to myself, you're going to fourth or fifth grade. That's where you're going, because that's where you're going to make a difference. And so I was very fortunate that I applied to Brawley, and there was an opening for a bilingual teacher in fourth and in sixth grade, and I chose fourth grade. And I was there for a few years, quite a bit of years. It was a great experience. I got to do a lot of different things with those fourth graders. We did a lot of digital, a lot of technology. That was very important for me because I knew that that was the future. And so in 2013, I was selected for Learnzillion Dream Team. Out of 3,000 applicants in the nation, I was the first Mexicana to be selected. So that was very good for me. My lessons live online forever. And so I was doing technology, digital technology back in 2013. And so I know when this happened in the pandemic, this is very difficult. A lot of people are having many, many problems. I have parents who are struggling. I have students who are struggling. I have essential workers who need to be at work while their children are alone at home. And so as an academic coach, my focus used to be teachers. My focus is still teachers. I want to make sure that they have the support they need in their instruction. But now my focus includes those parents that need that help and those students who are at home alone because their parents are essential workers. And so my focus is to make sure that they get access to the instruction that they deserve and the instruction that they should be receiving daily. And so that's what I do now. I searched for this position because last year I began with a group of teachers piloting what's called Bridge to Your Future. And so that focuses for junior high students to start looking at their future. And so I want to make sure that our students in our community, and not just those students graduating, those people who now have to have new capacities because of what happened through the pandemic, they have to make sure that they are able to recapacitate themselves and learn new skills. I want to make sure that our local institution has that availability and that they have access to that. It is important that that community college has those learning opportunities that our students, and when I say students, it's a gamut of ages. It's students who just graduated. It's students who are 18 and for whatever reason did not receive a diploma. It's those students who entered the workforce and want to better their situation, or it's for those persons who unfortunately lost their positions because their jobs were lost because of this pandemic. We need to make sure that our community is strong, and we want to make sure that our community has the capacity to move us forward.
Other question. I noticed you you were involved in the board of Hidalgo Society. I don't know what else you done as volunteer on the Brawley area.
No, not necessarily Hidalgo Society. My focus is more technology. I focus more in technology in my community and in my school. That's very important for me. I've been involved in many coalitions that deal with air quality and also health with this pandemic. But my focus has always been in education. I don't seek a title because I don't believe in titles. The title I seek every day is mom, and that's the title that I will always treasure. But other than mom, everything else for me is a leadership role where I can help people to better themselves and to learn about themselves and to make sure that they can better their opportunities and their position and their life. And so I am involved in the school sector, ELAC, DLAC, all those communities, migrant. I was a migrant student myself. I was an English teacher myself. And so for me, it is important that those communities are informed of what is available to them and informed on how to better their situation. Because sometimes, we are not able to better ourselves, not because we can't, but sometimes because of information. Look at this ballot situation. Some people are going to be thinking, oh, I already turned in my ballot. I already voted, unknowing that maybe that ballot is now invalid. So information is powerful, and so is education. Education is powerful. And so that's my goal. My goal is to inform and to make sure that everyone who chooses to get an education has access to that.
Yeah, because I just found out that 90,000 registered this election, 60,000 last election. So that means there's a big pool of people that registered this precinct. The 19th is the last day, which is Monday. Next Monday is the last day to register to vote. So hopefully it's 100,000 in Imperial County are voting this November 3rd. I just can't believe it.
And that is fantastic. Yo espero que todas las personas que pueden registrarse a votar lo hagan. Como dice Daniel, todavía tenemos una semana más. Asegúrense que se registren y que su voto está escuchado. Es muy importante estar informados sobre lo que sucede y saber lo que está pasando. Escuchen de sus candidatos, qué son sus plataformas, para que ustedes escojan el candidato que más se pueden ustedes revelar con ellos. Es muy importante saber por qué estamos votando, porque esas personas en esos lugares de liderazgo pueden afectar nuestros futuros, pueden afectar los futuros de nuestros hijos, las condiciones de lo que vivimos en la vida. Así que es muy importante saber qué son esas plataformas. Exígenles, pídenles, ¿por qué voto yo por ti? ¿Qué es la razón? ¿Qué es la razón? No qué títulos tienes. Una persona que nomás dice qué títulos tienes es porque es todo lo que tienen, es un título. Es decir, ¿qué es tu plataforma? ¿Qué es lo que tú piensas?
Y muchos títulos no es títulos, trabajo que yo aprendí en los files. Que files no es título. Yo trabajé en los files por 6 meses en la calor con sandía. Y muchos no saben que es mucho calor, pero eso no trae título.
Yeah.
La raza no.
Nobody has a lot of experience. You learn a lot. I have a lot of family who that's how they began. My parents were laborers, and I respect them because they showed me what hard work that is, and how you're not rewarded financially for that. And so we want to make sure that everyone is able to raise a family on good wages and benefits. And if that takes skill and specializations and some type of education, not necessarily a college education, but knowing a trade, knowing a skill. And so it is important that we all know that and we're aware of that.
Any last word before we close out? Any last word?
No, I just want to thank you. I think I want to thank you for having this platform available. Muchas gracias por tener esta plataforma y informar a todos los videntes. Es muy importante que todos los residentes sepamos de lo que está ocurriendo y que estemos al tanto de todo. It's very important that we are all aware of what's happening and we know what's happening in our community so that we are aware. We need to be knowledgeable. So I thank you for giving me this space.
You're welcome, and we'll talk soon. Thanks. I'll be looking forward to those flyers in Brawley. I'll have my cousins text me when they see those flyers.
They will be there. They will be there.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.